Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Teva Pharmaceuticals. Is this stock a buy, or should you short it here, or what should you do? So it's had a pretty rough day today. It's down about 10%, and it's actually breaking down out of this bearish pennant here. So what you'd usually expect in the price after this is, after a breakdown, you'd expect to move to this 138.2% extension and this 161.8% extension. So I think there's a good chance we do see 950 over the next coming day or 2 days or so. This is a pretty ugly candle, so I would expect us to have some follow through unless they somehow wick the day and close it way higher, but I would expect it to reach this 950 level probably over the next coming days. So I think if you do get any kind of intraday bounce here, I think you'll have a decent place to short against. I think you can short against these set of lows here at around 1110, and you can stop if we break back over that level. Again, you're going to want to look for a better place to enter rather than at 1042. Like, let's say if we see a bounce to around 1080, you'll have a pretty good risk reward. You'll be risking about 20 cents for around $1.50, so that's a pretty good risk reward. But I wouldn't chase here, and I probably wouldn't short here. You could, and you're risking maybe, 60 cents for $1. It's not the best risk to reward, so I would definitely wait and see if you can get a better entry intraday, but I definitely think this is a great short setup, and shorter term we do get a move down to 955. Now, bigger picture when we're looking at the stock, obviously we have some massive overhead supply here, and we've rejected the same area multiple times. I think there's a pretty good likelihood that we reject significantly off this level and actually head possibly way below this $9 level and maybe even back to these lows here. I think there definitely is a good chance we do see these lows again over the next coming month. Looking at the long-term picture, the chart's been in downtrend forever, so obviously betting on the stock here would be basically betting against the trend. I do think the overall trend dictates that the stock does revisit these lows and potentially even breaks those lows. Usually when bottoms are formed, they're formed with long-term bases. Similar like this area back here, this would be a long-term base, but it's kind of all invalidated when you break below whatever the pivot is of that area, which is actually what we've seen for the past few years. Is the stock has broken below this long-term pivot here, and it's just failed to reclaim it for the past few years, and it continues to reject off this level. So what that basically means is that bears are still kind of in control of the price. Once you see a significant break and convicted move back above that pivot, I think you'll have a good entry to get in a long-term position in the stock actually, but I don't believe now is the time to do that. I think there's definitely more pain shorter term ahead. I think we do see this 161.8% extension, like I said, and potentially you could buy off that level. But I wouldn't want to necessarily buy here. You could probably buy off that level, but if this candle does close like this is a pretty ugly candle, and usually it's going to see some significant follow through. So I don't know if I'd exactly want to do that here. It depends how the next few days shape up. I do think there could be a potential buying opportunity at around 955 over the next coming days. Even if you're looking to get in the stock longer term, I think you're still going to want to wait. You're going to want to get an entry as close to these lows as you can, and then you put the stop under them. I think that might be a decent trade. 955 is around 3 points away from those. It's not really the best risk to reward to get in a long-term position here. I think you should wait for, around $7 to $8, and I think that might be a decent entry on a long-term position if you are looking to get in one. I think you could long versus these lows, but bigger picture, I do think it's definitely possible we do retest these lows and shorter term see these extensions. So looking at the retracement levels that we have right now, we have this 50% retracement sitting at around 979. Again, that's kind of in line with 955. Usually when you get a bear retracement, you get a retracement to around the 38.2 to 50% retracement of its recent range. So there should be some demand at around 955 to 980. I think there's a good chance we bounce off that level. A lot of times on these long-term Fibonacci levels, you'll see the stock actually go below or above whatever level it is for a couple days, and then the stock falls back below or back above that level, and then you'll see follow through with a move higher or lower. So I think there's a good chance we actually fall below this 50% retracement sitting at around 979. We head to that 161.8% extension of its recent range, which sits at around 955, and then you could get a kind of run the stop event below that 50% retracement, where then you could potentially enter in a long position, and we could see a sizable bounce off that level. I think that's definitely a possibility. You could definitely look to scalp the stock around here or take a position in it, and then whatever low we set down here, you're going to want to set a stop below. I don't really think you can long the stock right now because you don't really have a place to put your risk. So you're going to want to wait for kind of a wick low to form and then some sort of reversal candle that you can kind of put your risk against to happen down at this 955 level. Anyways, that's kind of my views on Teva. I think shorter term you can short the stock if we get an intraday bounce here, and we should see 955 over the next coming days. I think you could potentially long the stock there, but I would wait until at least that level to actually get long the stock. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and taking the time out of your day to view this video, and make sure you subscribe and leave a like. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you, guys.